told me a story once. You're doing Nevada Smith with McQueen.
Yes.
And it's no secret anywhere that McQueen liked to smoke weed.
Yes, he did.
Okay. And you told me a story that McQueen and you were finished for the day, or at least you thought so.
We thought so.
You thought so.
We're back at the studio.
Right, and you're in the trailer.
With Henry Hathaway directing.
Right, was directing. And you guys figure it's the end of the day, shooting's over. You know, it's like, let's do a little relaxation. So the two of you are lighting up.
Well, the interesting thing was, I wasn't lighting up that day. He was some guys that he knew from New York had popped in, and they got stoned.
Right.
Henry Hathaway comes to my dressing room and says to me, "I'm going to shoot that bar scene, not the bar scene, but the scene." Yes, the scene in the bar.
Yeah, two of them talking to each other.
Where I tell him that I'm the wrong guy. I'm not the guy that he's looking for, and that was an added quote unquote scene that we were not going to do that day, and I had been introduced to these guys, and when I went back to Steve's trailer,
right.
It was blue with weed.
Right, smoke is billowing out.
I
right?
mean, you got a contact high just walking in the door.
Right.
And I said, and Steve basically could not talk.
Yeah.
I mean, he was so loaded that he couldn't speak. So I said, whoa, get rid of these guys. I said, and have some coffee or something, because he was in no condition to do the scene. So I went to Hathaway. Yes, to Hathaway, and I said, Steve's got a miserable migraine. I said, it'll take him at least an hour before he, And I told Steve, I said, lie down, and if Henry comes, just tell him how
Now, Hathaway is old school, old time, bad.
Hathaway had a reputation of being a monster when he got pissed off.
Yeah.
And usually,
old school guys in Hollywood.
Well, he was one, he had a temper. He wanted me in a picture after I did Nevada Smith. He wanted me in a picture. I saw him in London when I was doing the television series there, and Henry, well, I can tell you why I didn't. He wanted me to. The scene where I'm in the corral with the long-haired steer. He wanted me to use full loads, and I realized I'd probably die before the knife fight. I'd said, I quarter loads, and he said, no, full loads, and I'd say no. He'd say half loads. I'd say no. He'd say, I like a kid with spit, and we wound up. I said, I took my hat off and put it on his head, and I said, I heard you'll never do anything you wouldn't do yourself, and he said, quarter loads. We compromised. But the point I'm making is that Henry was a monster when he got angry, and known for his temper. He and Otto Preminger were a handful of directors who you didn't want to aggravate, and he asked me to do a picture with him afterwards in Africa, and I said, I had visions of having to face a charging rhino, for Christ's sake. I said, no, never again, Henry. I love you.
So I remember.
Okay, but the point I'm making is that I told him not to talk to Steve for at least an hour. I said, he's got such a bad headache. And by the time Steve talked to Henry, he could manage a conversation.
Yeah, I heard you told me that. So Steve, who was known for this, it was a two-hander scene, and you told me that Steve took his pen, took the script, and crossed out 90% of his dialogue.
Well, Steve loved to get rid of dialogue.
Yeah. A lot of actors do.
But if you see this picture, there's a moment where he calls my name, my character's name, and it sounds a little slurry. And it doesn't sound quite like it should, and it's in the movie that way. And he'll say, Jesse Cole, he says. And I say, yeah, no, you got the wrong guy or something. And after that, he managed to say the little bit of dialogue he had pretty clearly.
I love stories
but there
like that.
is a section where Steve doesn't speak too well, where he calls my
movie was a big hit.
My character's name, and the fact that it's still in the movie is miraculous, because in those days they used to get rid of everything that wasn't sharp as a tack.
Yeah.
But he's a little rubbery, shall we say.
Talking here with Martin Landau on Ipso Facto.